Hi everybody! Welcome to this tutorial about Revit architecture for beginners. This video is an introduction to my Revit course available in the platform Udemy, and here you will have an overview of the program. We will explain what's the purpose of Revit and the main differences between Revit and AutoCAD. How is the interface organized? We will talk about the different tabs and panels, and how to navigate around the workspace. Basically, these concepts are very important to understand before starting to work with the tools in the program, because it's easier if you know the fundamentals clearly. So, what kind of program is Revit? Revit is a building information modeling software developed by Autodesk. It's different from AutoCAD, which is a general computer-aided design program. In AutoCAD, we primarily draw geometry, such as lines, circles, arcs, or polygons. We can also combine these geometric elements and create blocks, and store them in the project for later use. In Revit, we insert more complex elements that represent real parts of a building, such as walls, doors, or windows. Revit also includes 2D elements like detail lines and dimensions, which are used to complement the 3D model. Now let's see some of the core advantages in Revit. Collaboration. As Revit integrates different aspects of construction, including architecture design, structure design, or even mechanical, electrical, or plumbing, this enables multiple users to work in the same project simultaneously, often in the cloud. For example, an engineer, an architect, and an interior designer can collaborate on the same project, making changes that automatically update for all users. Other great functions are the parametric components. Each element in Revit, for example a wall, a window, or a door, can have parameters that control its dimensions or materials, like in the structure of a wall, for example. These parameters allow the users to edit the elements needed. Now, another important feature is the view relationships. Changes made in one view of the project automatically reflect in all other views. For example, if I'm working in a floor plan and add a new door, the east elevation view, the view from this side, will automatically update to show the new door. Finally, another great advantage is the building information modeling data. We can create schedules that automatically generate detailed lists of the elements used in the projects, as well as provide tools for cost estimation. This is the Revit home screen. Now we have to start a new project. For that, we have to click on New to create a new model, and in this window we need to choose a template. As you can see, there are several loaded in this list, and it may be a bit different from yours depending on the options you chose in the installation menu. Anyway, if you are not happy with these options, you can always browse, and you can find many more templates here, organized by language. For example, this is the English folder, and there are templates both for metrical and imperial units. Okay, here I'm not going to choose one of these templates, so I close the window and select here the architectural template and click on OK. Now, this is the main screen of our Revit project. The central window is called the drawing area, and it's where we create, view and modify both 2D drawings and 3D models. At the top, we have the ribbon, which contains the tools we need for our drawings. It's divided into different tabs, each dedicated to specific functions. The first tab is Architecture, which we will focus on the most in this course. The next 4 tabs are dedicated to different disciplines, including structure, steel, precast, and MEP systems. which means mechanical, electric, and plumbing. Next, we have the Insert tab, which is used for linking and importing CAD files, images, and PDFs, and it's actually one of the key features in Revit. In the Annotate tab, we can insert dimensions, details, and text. Additionally, the Manage tab provides access to settings for the project, including project parameters and collaboration options. Then, in the File tab at the top left, we can access the recent files, start or open a new project or family file, save to a specific location, export as PDFs or CAD formats, printing, and close the current file. At the bottom of this dialog, we can exit Revit and also access the software options. At the top of the screen, we have the Quick Access toolbar. It contains shortcuts to open and save files, undo and redo actions, as well as other frequently used commands. By clicking on this icon, the drop-down arrow, I can customize the toolbar by adding or removing the commands I want. At the bottom, we can find the View control bar, which contains icons that adjust how we visualize the current view in Revit. Here there are options such as controlling the view scale, changing the detail level of objects. We can also choose different visual styles, crop the view to display specific areas of the model, or temporarily hide or reveal objects. Now, at each side, I have the properties and the project browser. However, you may have in your version both panels in the left side, as usually it's the way by default. If you are happy with that, just leave it how it is. But for example, in my case, I prefer to click and hold the project browser and move it to the right. The drawing area is still wide enough, and the panels are now larger, making them easier to navigate. Now, one important tip: if you cannot see any of the panels, click in the main window with the right button and make sure they are activated. With the project browser, we can open and manage the views, schedules, sheets, and families within the project. Its well-organized structure makes it easy to find what we need at any time. The Properties panel shows the parameters of the currently selected element. For example, if I click on this furniture, you can see the information related to that item. You can find details about its level position and other information. These parameters change depending on the type of element selected. For example, in a wall, the parameters displayed are different. Now let's press Escape to deselect the table, and you will notice that the Properties panel now displays the parameters of the active view, and in this case it's a floor plan. On the Start page, aside from models, also referred to as project files, we can open a family or create a new one from scratch. As I mentioned before, families are the elements used in projects, and they are created separately. They also have different extensions. A project file has the extension RVT, while a family file uses RFA. Now I'm going to open the sample architecture family to show you how it works. The workspace of a family file is similar to that of a project file, but you will notice that the ribbon has different icons and tabs, which are more specific for modeling individual components. Another way to open a family is by double-clicking on a family within a project, for example, this table. OK, now look at the project browser. There are different 3D views here. Then this one is for the thumbnail image, which you can see in the file preview. Also, this view called Reference Level shows how the table appears in a floor plan. Okay, this was a brief overview of families in Revit, just to give you an idea how to create them. Okay, we will learn to navigate the workspace in Revit, and first we will learn to use the mouse buttons. It's important to use the mouse with a scroll wheel, as using the touchpad can make it difficult. You'll frequently need to zoom, select objects, and move around the workspace. If you are familiar with AutoCAD, the mouse navigation is similar, even it has few differences. So let's have a look at the buttons. Mouse wheel. Scroll the mouse wheel to zoom in and out of the drawing area. If you press and hold the wheel, you'll see this symbol on the screen, allowing you to move across the workspace. Another useful function is the 3D orbit. Press and hold the mouse wheel while holding down the Shift key. Looked at with this method, you can rotate any 3D view. Left button. The left button is used to select elements or create selection areas. Clicking with the left button selects an element, including families like doors or furniture. To select multiple elements, click on the first one, then hold down Ctrl and click on the others. You can also select several objects with a selection area similar to AutoCAD, and there are two types of selections. Right to left. Click and drag the mouse from right to left. With this, you will select any element that the selection area touches. Left to right. Click and drag from left to right, and this time it will select only the elements fully enclosed by the area. So you might find these selection areas a bit tricky in the beginning, but don't worry because with practice you will get used to it. Right button. Right-clicking in the workspace opens the context menu with several options. If you click in an empty area, as I did just now, you will find options to zoom, repeat recent commands, or control the panels displayed on the screen. If instead you right-click on an object, for example on this door, you will see additional options, such as hiding the element or creating, in this case, an exact door like this in another location. Now I want to introduce to you the navigation wheel. It provides essential tools to navigate within the workspace and is especially useful when only using the touchpad. The options available differ between 2D and 3D views. Let's open the tool for this floor plan, clicking on this button. As you can see, I have options to zoom, pan, and rewind. To zoom in or out, I need to left-click on zoom and hold the left button while moving the pointer. The method is the same for all the options. Then, to pan the view, I select the pan option, and this allows me to move around the workspace. The rewind option lets me choose from one of the previous views I was in. Now click on the cross to close the navigation wheel and open a 3D view. This time, when you open the wheel in full navigation mode, you will find tools specifically designed for 3D navigation. Among these options, you can use the Orbit tool, which allows you to rotate the view, or the Up-Down option, which lets you move to view up and down with precision in the 3D space. Let's open a sample file to get a better idea of how a project looks. Click on File, then go to Open, and find the option at the bottom of this list. I'm going to choose this one, RAC Basic Sample Project. Open it, and you can see this is very complete. Even they call it basic. So, by default, it opened the tab A001 Title Sheet. This is actually one of the sheets that we prepare for printing. Then we have different kind of views here. For example, floor plans. Let's open this level 1. Next, we have a floor above, level 2. Below that section, there are 3D views. For example, a kitchen. This is an aspect of the solar analysis. Or we can also have a general 3D view. Below, we can see the elevations, and then also other type of views that we usually have in our projects. Sections, detail views, or even renderings. Below, you can see the schedule tables, which include a list of learning topics from the sample project. This is actually quite interesting, and if you want to explore a topic further, simply select it, open the corresponding view, it's the floor plan level 1, and look for the highlighted Help button. Select it, and in the properties you will find the learning link to the Autodesk website, which can be useful for a deeper learning. Finally, we have print-ready sheets, which can include views from the project. One important tip: when a checkbox in the project browser is blue, it means that the view is at least included in one of the sheets. So that's all in this video. If you are interested in learning Revit from the beginning, I have a complete course in the platform Udemy, as well as another one in AutoCAD. If you join it, you will have free access forever. There aren't distraction ads, and you can find exercise files to practice in some lectures. So you can find the links below in the description and check out the list of contents and the preview lectures. So it's everything. See you in the next time.